Okay, our previous topic was on the COPAR phases and critical activities. We discussed the pre-entry phase, which is the first phase of COPAR. Activities, description, initial consultation, selection of community for immersion. So how do we choose a community for your COPAR? Okay. Number 5 is the formal communications and courtesy call. So formal communications is when you go there to talk and discuss your scope and expectations when you reach the community. What are the things that you would like to do, and in return, what would the community officials like for you to do when you reach their community as well in terms of health programs. The pre-entry phase also includes your orientation of agency development workers and structured activities. Okay, for today, we are going to discuss the second phase of your COPAR, which is your entry phase or the community immersion. We are going to discuss description, the activities included, okay, will be the bulk of the discussion. Okay, the courtesy call, leader spotting, groundworking, delivery of health services as come-ons. Okay, what does that mean? Deepening social investigations, and the start of community meetings. And the last topic included for your entry phase is your ARAS. Okay, so I will be sharing my slideshow. Okay, so NCM 113A COPAR, the phases of COPAR. The second phase of COPAR is the entry phase. And in this lecture, we are discussing from the discussion of the entry phase up to the ARAS part, okay, of the syllabus. Okay, entry phase. Okay, when we talk about the entry phase, it is the actual going into the community already. So before the entry phase, we had the pre-entry phase, which was a lot of preparation, preparing to choose what community we are going. Okay, remember the criteria. It must be a poor community. It is a community that is that has requested. Okay, actually, what do you call this? Requested people to come in their community to give help regarding their health concerns. Okay, so they must be able to be receptive, okay, of the things that we want to implement in the community. And there should be understanding or communications between the leaders, formal and informal leaders of the community, okay, and the healthcare workers who would like to go into the in that specific community. So once the details have been planned out, once everything has been pre-planned, the next phase after your immersion after your pre-entry phase is your actual entry phase already. Okay. Let me pause for a minute. I am just going to fix the lighting because the sunset is already shining on my face. Okay. Okay, continuation, our entry phase. Okay, this is the actual entry to and immersion of the community health workers in the selected community. So this is when we are going to the community already. So if you go back to the pictures that I was showing, Okay, it is the actual going of the students, the healthcare workers into the selected community. Okay, it is also known as the social preparation phase. Why is it? Because we are starting to prepare also the community, okay, regarding that there will be an interaction between the workers, the health workers, and the people of the community. And the goal is for the improvement of health of the community. That's why we have to socially prepare them. Okay? It is considered as the most crucial phase. Okay, why? Number one, the initial behaviors of the health workers and their activities will usually determine the acceptability of the next groups and the agency as a whole. Okay, what does it mean? Since COPAR is a continuous process, okay, so if our group, okay, your group of 12 students being led by the clinical instructor, if we are the first students or first group of UC individuals who will spend 4 weeks there or 8 weeks there, okay, it is very crucial, sorry, that the initial activities or the initial na pakikisama, initial relationships that we establish during our first 4 weeks and 8 weeks, okay, should be very good. Para pag umalis tayo from the community, the next group will also be welcome. Okay, it's like a next batch of visitors will come after us. So if we mess up our relationships with the community in the first 4 weeks, first 8 weeks, okay, tapos we leave the community and another group will come. Okay, if we mess up the relationship, the next group will not be welcome, di ba? So it is during the entry phase, okay, of any group. Okay, kahit okay yung group natin, tapos yung second group naman, sablay, how will be the third group accepted? Okay, parang ganun. So every time there's an entry phase, every time you stay in the community, okay, it is crucial because it will also determine the continuity and how they will welcome the next group. Okay, the initial behaviors of the healthcare workers and their activities. Okay, so us as healthcare workers and the effectivity of the programs, they will determine the acceptability of the next groups and agency. Kunwari tapos na yung University of Cordilleras, what if Red Cross naman yung magkaroon ng program doon? What if Pine City Colleges? What if SLU naman? Okay, so sabihin nila, ayaw na namin ng ganyan, mga nursing students. Kasi when UC had their rotation here, medyo we did not, it wasn't really that meaningful. Okay, or sabihin nilang kabaliktaran, okay, yeah, gustong-gusto namin ng mga student nurses dito. Because when UC was here, okay, so magagaling yung mga estudyante nila, mababait. Okay, so the initial behavior during the entry phase is very important. Okay, so why is it also considered the most crucial phase? Number 2, because this is the period where sensitization of the people and critical events in their lives, such as their dreams and aspirations, will be uncovered and explored. Okay, so medyo malalim yon. Why? Because during our interaction with the people in the community, okay, so we try to make them think out of the box already. Okay, so we know that you've been in this community for so long already. Okay, but what are your plans? Ano po ba yung mga gusto nyo? What else do you want to happen? What other improvements would you like to happen in your barangay? And once you give out those questions, their imagination will start to go wild also. Ay, gusto ko yung nakita ko noon, nung, kasi OFW ako, so nakita ko yung sistema nila sa Singapore, ganito lang to. Okay, sana ganito rin yung sa barangay namin. Kasi sabihin ng iba, ako naman nung pumunta akong Baguio, okay, napaka-stricto nila when it comes to protocols. In terms of COVID, etc., etc. Sana ganito rin sa barangay namin. See? So you try to, you simulate or you stimulate their imagination, you stimulate their ideas, thus it becomes explored, thus it becomes, it can turn into reality. You make them realize na pwede po nating maging, i-apply yung mga nakita nyo sa Singapore, i-apply yung mga nakita nyo sa Baguio, i-apply yung mga nakita nyo sa Facebook, sa internet, okay, dito sa barangay nyo. Basta, tulong-tulong po tayo. Okay? And it will be explored in the, it will be implemented in the entry phase. Okay, in the entry phase, there are critical activities. So I think there are 10. Okay, there are 10 critical activities here in the pre-entry phase. So makikita nyo, it will be listed above. Okay, so what are the critical activities? The first critical activity or breakdown of activities in the pre-entry phase, the first is the courtesy call at the barangay level. Okay, so meron tayong municipal level. So as I showed you in the photos dun sa UC photos namin. So let me draw those slides. Okay, so let's wait for a moment here. Okay, so when we talk about courtesy call, I will be using my previous slides. Okay. Slideshow from current slide. Okay, so sabi ko, this is Community Health Nursing 101. So where is the courtesy call? Courtesy call is when you visit. Okay, when you visit, this is in the, I think this is in the municipal level. Okay, so we had to visit, once we reach the community, we had to visit the mayor, the vice mayor, kung sino man yung mga head officers dun sa municipal nila. Okay, but when you talk about courtesy call in the barangay level, okay, so this could be a courtesy call in the barangay level. Okay, so it is a set of, if you saw earlier, this is the whole group. Okay, probably the whole year level visiting the community. But here, it is one group visiting where they are assigned. Okay, so if this is the, for example, the barangay hall, okay, so you have to go to the barangay hall and let the barangay captain know na nandito na po kami po yung magjo-duty dun sa barangay nyo. Okay, so this is the courtesy call at the barangay level. Okay, so this is an example. Okay, I will go back to the previous slides. Okay, so critical activities. A courtesy call at the barangay level is the first one. This is the personal visit to the barangay leaders. When we talk about leaders in a community, there are formal leaders and informal leaders. The formal leaders, who are they? Of course, your barangay captain, the kagawad, assistant barangay captain, kung meron man, the treasurer, the secretary. Those are your formal elected leaders. But you also have informal leaders in a community. The elders, for example. Okay? So sometimes merong mga higher influence or influential people in the barangay. Okay, so for example, merong dating mayor na nakatira doon sa barangay and they still think highly of him kahit hindi siya yung barangay captain. Okay, so you have to visit them. Okay, so parang magpapakilala lang kayo. Okay, and you have to acknowledge them also. Okay. So why do we do courtesy call at the barangay level? To make our presence known to the leaders and the members of the community. So hindi lang sa mga leaders, kahit yung mga workers dun sa barangay hall, yung mga bahay na nadadaanan natin, okay, let them know that we are there already. To make them feel that we have recognized their important role in the health partnership. Let us not have a big ego na parang kami pa nga yung magbibigay ng health services dito eh. So talagang VIP dapat kami dito. No, it is a partnership. They allowed us to visit their territory. They allowed us to help them, okay, implement health activities. We are not just there to implement. We want them to learn and take care of their own health. Okay, so it is a partnership. Okay. Of course, we go to the courtesy call at the barangay level to establish trust and rapport. Okay, relationship is very important because they are our clients kung tutuusin. Okay, so we have to establish trust, establish rapport with your client. Also, we have to go to the barangay level for our courtesy call to discuss, review guidelines, and immediate plans. So pag-usapan namin. Okay, so kami po yung pinapunta ng munisipyo. Okay, kami po yung inassign ng munisipyo sa barangay nyo. Okay, so of course, Let them know, or they already know, of course, nabigyan na yan ng instructions before you even came. But you just remind them na we are here to strengthen your health activities within the barangay and for the community. Okay? If there have guidelines, kung meron kunwari guidelines that we don't know that is strict for that barangay, sabihin ng barangay captain sa inyo, yes, okay, so salamat po sa pagpunta nyo dito. Ipapaalala ko lang po na probably after 8 o'clock, we have a curfew. Sabihin nila, so you should be in your wherever you should be staying already. Okay? Or for example, maraming NPA dito sa lugar namin, so hindi namin kayo papayagan na mag-house to house na kayo lang. So every time you have a house to house, you will have to inform the barangay and the barangay will accompany you through the kagawads. Okay, so siguro may guidelines din sila na para sa kanila. Okay, so we have to let them know that we are there. During my time of duty, okay, the barangay had to know when we were coming and going kasi sila yung nag-arrange ng transport. Okay, so walang regular transportation that goes in and out of their barangay. So through the barangay, through the captain, siya yung nagko-coordinate. Okay, that the UC students will be coming here every Monday at 8 o'clock, sabihin nyo na. So sunduin nyo sila sa, mag-arrange kayo ng jeep para masundo sila sa Baguio, for example, ng 6 o'clock. Okay? Tapos they will stay in our barangay until Wednesday. Okay? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday dito sa barangay natin. Aalis sila ng barangay natin ng 3 p.m. para nasa Baguio na sila ng 2 p.m. So sila yung nag-arrange. So we had to coordinate with the barangay as well. So those are examples why you have to coordinate. Okay? So that is your courtesy call at the barangay level. Okay? So another critical activities of your pre-entry phase or the second phase, okay, is your ocular survey. Okay, so when you talk about ocular survey, okay, so ocular, kailangan mong i-inspect by eye. You go around the community to observe. What are you going to observe? You observe, for example, who are the people in the community? Where are the places in the community? Where is the clinic? Where are the main roads? Where are the groceries? Saan yung majority ng mga bahay? Okay, so yan yung mga things that we have to familiarize ourselves when we go around the community. The boundaries also. Hanggang saan ang boundary ng barangay na ito? And observe the people, observe their lifestyle, mga tipong ganyan. Okay. During the ocular survey, we will also settle down in the staff house. Okay, so titingnan rin natin yung itsura ng titirahan nating bahay. It's either there was a house that was pre-arranged for us to live in. Kung wala man, titira tayo sa barangay hall, titira tayo sa health center, titira tayo sa mga daycare. Okay, so yan yung mga na-experience kong tirahan. Yung mga barangay hall, daycare, unfinished clinics. Okay, so yan yung mga doon kayo magsisettle down, ayusin niyo yung mga gamit nyo, arrange kung saan kayo matutulog, separate ang boys sa girls, saan matutulog yung clinical instructor, saan tayo magluluto. Okay, so settling down in your staff house. For the what do you call this? For the ocular survey, also have to immerse with the community. Okay, so what is immersing in the community? Go back to the other show. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo. Okay, so it is in the entry phase, early in the entry phase. Okay, so hindi lang sila nagpapakilala sa barangay health center, pero nagpapakilala rin sila sa mga tao. Okay, so saan sila pumunta? Siguro sa sari-sari store. Okay, so may naglabas sila ng mga soft drinks. Okay, may mga baso. Pag inuman sila ng soft drinks. Okay, so introduce yourselves. We are the students from the University of Cordilleras. Dito po kami naka-duty sa barangay nyo. Mga nursing students po kami. At dito kami naka-duty sa barangay nyo ng 4 weeks, ng 8 weeks for example. Okay, so kung may mga kailangan kayo sa amin, okay, if you have health concerns, magpa-BP, kung may kakilala kayong buntis, etc. etc. Okay, so visit us in the center or pwede po namin kayo puntahan sa bahay nyo. Okay, so that is your interaction with the community. Okay, so ocular survey, immersing with the community. Ocular survey, nasabi na natin kanina, nasan yung mga bahay, Nasaan yung mga main road, nasaan yung mga bilihan. Okay, so yan yung mga titignan nyo. Where is the clinic? Where is the barangay hall? Okay, etc. etc. And initiate the concept of partnership during your ocular survey. Of course, things that you can do to initiate the concept of partnership is isama mo yung mga kagawad. Kagawad, pwede nyo po ba kaming ipasyal, okay, sa mga main road, okay, kung saan po yung rota namin, for example, saan yung mga shortcut, okay? So the kagawad will feel importance kasi sige, alam ko yan. So gamitin niyo ako sa mga skills ko, and we will try to go around. Okay, for example, initiate partnership also is when you go around the community and the kagawad will let them know, or the barangay captain will let them know na ito po yung mga student nurses natin from UC. Okay, so they will know that you are authorized by the barangay captain to be there. Hindi lang kayo yung mga tipong ikot ng ikot na nagbibigay ng mga special offer na hindi nyo alam kung doon ba sila sa barangay, mga dayo, etc. etc. Okay? So the barangay captain or the kagawads will let them know that you are authorized to be there. Okay? So mas kampante yung mga tao of the community, and you have initiated the concept of partnership. You are there in partnership with the LGU, the barangay captain, the kagawads. Okay? Next critical activity is your community integration. Okay, what is community integration? Immersing and introducing the team to the community. So yun ulit yung picture na yun, yung nakikipag inuman sila sa sari-sari store. As they walk around the community, okay, so babatiin mo yung mga tao, magpapakilala kayo. Gusto nyo po magpa-BP, kami po yung mga students from the University of Cordilleras. Okay, so integrate or immerse with the community. Why do we do this? The second bullet says, to get to know the culture, economy. Okay, so ano yung kultura doon? Okay, so mainhin ba sila? Probinsyang-probinsya ba? Parang Baguio City ba? Parang Manila na medyo loud yung culture? Parang probinsya ba na lilo sila? Simple ang buhay? Economy. Okay, mayayaman ba yung mga tao sa barangay? Are they well off? Marami bang squatters? Maraming mahirap? Okay. To get to know the leaders aside from the barangay captain, sino pa yung mga leaders na pwede ma-encounter natin. Okay, so what is the history of the barangay? Okay, so masarap mag-duty sa mga bandang La Union. Okay, kasi bawat barangay may simbahan, for example, bawat barangay may palengke. Okay, so what is the history? Okay, the rhythm, the lifestyle, the rhythm, mabilis ba yung buhay doon? Lahat ba nagtatrabaho? Okay, majority ba call center? Meron ako na-encounter na barangay bandang Pugo. Okay, so barangay Mawaswas yata yon. So halos lahat sila nagkaroon ng what we call this around 1990s, 1980s. Okay, most of them na magkakamag-anak sa isang part of the barangay, majority of their relatives were OFW, mga seaman. Okay, so what happened is, nakaipon sila, lahat sila, na yung mga gate nila, so yung mga gate ng bahay nila may mga design na anchor. Kaya pala, okay, that is the lifestyle pala doon. Nakapagpundar itong mga to kasi mga seaman sila ng mga 80s and 90s, and now they are back in the Philippines. Okay, so yun yung lifestyle. For community acceptance. Alam niyo rin yung nag-e-enjoy rin silang ikwento kung ano yung history ng community nila. Community integration will also help you know the struggles. Okay, so ano yung mga paghihirap ng mga community. Usually for farm areas, for example. Okay, so meron silang food because they have farms, but in terms of financially, medyo dyan sila hirap. Okay, recognize their health struggles. Hindi kompleto yung mga health resources dun sa those living in Kapangan, living in the hidden barangays of Benguet, for example. So those are their health struggles. Community integration will also help you understand how locals analyze and understand their own health situation. Wala, ganun talaga eh. Tanggap na namin na yung mga hospitals dito hindi tumatanggap ng mga hirap. Okay, so pwede na lang sabihin sa yun. Okay, so understand that mahirap kasi ang tubig sa bahay namin kasi most of our water resources are focused sa mga farms namin. Okay, so depende kung ano yung mga situation nila. Okay? Lastly, community integration, to have a bias, to have a basis for modifying your own values and lifestyle in keeping with that of the community. So nakita mong simple lang yung lifestyle nila doon, nakita mong soft-spoken sila, nakita mong mga simple lang yung mga tao, humble yung mga tao doon. So you adjust yourself also. In return, you have to be humble also. In return, you have to be respectful also. Okay? So if they feel intimidated with you, kasi yan, taga Baguio yan, taga CTM mga yan, mga college students yung mga yan, mga may pera mag-college, etc. So you adjust also. Okay? You have to be, you have to have a attitude of service. Okay, sir, nandito po kami para paglingkuran kayo, para tulungan kayo, hindi po para pagsilbihan kayo. Hindi po kami mga turista dito sa barangay nyo, etc. etc. Okay, so you have to modify your values as well. Guidelines during the integration. Okay, so here are some pointers while you are doing your integration, especially in the first part. Okay, keep within community standards. Okay, your appearance, for example, not too loud. Huwag masyadong maporma, huwag masyadong maingay, huwag masyadong what do you call this? Magpagaling sa community, nagmamagaling, magaling. Your speech also, if you can use the local dialect, okay, kung nakakaintindi sila ng Ilocano, tapos marunong ka mag-Ilocano, mag-Ilocano ka na lang, huwag ka na mag-English, Taglish. Okay? Behavior, okay, stay simple, lifestyle, okay, so nasa community tayo, so hindi porket may pambili yung isang group mate nyo ng mamahaling pagkain, is yun na yung dadalhin nyo dun for the 3 days duty. Okay, so try to adjust also with their lifestyle. Okay, be humble and adopt a low-key profile approach. Okay, so wag masyadong arrogant or boastful or loud, okay, when it comes to the community. Okay, visit as many households as possible. Visit as many households as possible. Okay, so it makes you, what do you call this? It helps you introduce to more people. The more people who know you in the community, the more comfortable they are that you are there. Okay, so when you go to visit as many, what do you call this? You avoid making jealousies also. Okay, so meron yung mga iba, sabihin nila, bakit yung bahay na yun binisita nila? Bakit yung bahay ko hindi ko binisita? Okay, sinabihan ba sila ng barangay captain na wag kaming bisitahin? Okay, so those are the things na try nating iwasan. Okay? Do not make insinuating comments about interest or something. So okay, magsasabi na magpapa-medical mission po kami, etc. etc. Mamimigay kami ng gamot. Okay, so if it is not true, try not to give them ideas about those things kung hindi naman kakayanin. Okay, so let's go back to letter A, community standards. So appearance, do not go to the community appearing like tourists. Okay, so hindi tayo turista doon. Yes, bisita tayo. Okay, but we are there as professionals also, as nursing professionals, student nurses professionals. Okay, so yeah, let's be formal kung kailangan, let's be casual kung kailangan. Okay, but in the same time, remember that we are there on official business, hindi para maging turista. Try to speak the dialect, don't speak slang. Behavior, okay, you are not there to flirt, for example. Okay, you are not there to, di para maghanap ng jowa. Okay, you are there to serve the community. Eat simple food, eat nutritious food. Okay, yun yung mga kailangan nating adjustments. Be humble, go down to their level if possible. Okay, especially yung mga bata, okay, para maging what do you call this, receptive sila sa atin. Okay, so for example, kung BTS yung nakita mong pinag-uusapan nila, okay, so try to talk to them about BTS. Ay, narinig ko kayo, I overheard that you're talking about BTS, you're talking about Korean novelas. Nanonood din ako niyan. Okay, encourage them to call you by your first name. Okay, kasi minsan, usually pag CI, Okay, ang tawag sa community is maestro, teacher. Okay, so maestro ni Maestro Gonzales. Okay, so no. Is Erwin na lang po ang itawag niyo sa akin. Okay, yung mga tipong use your first name. Encourage them to call you by your first name. Okay? Refrain from call this feeling like VIPs. Okay? So yun yung mga kailangan nating gawin. Let me just one more interruption. Okay, so let me just plug in my computer because my battery is running low. Okay, next. Live with the poorer sectors of the community. Okay, because most of those in the poor sector of the community are the ones who really need your service. Okay, so they are the ones who have the most needs. They are the ones who need the health services that you are giving. Participate in direct production, household and social activities. For example, direct production, kung meron silang farms, nagsasaka sila, gumagawa ng walis sa sablan, for example. Okay, so try to participate. Manang nakita ko po yung ginagawa nyo, pwede ko po bang subukan? Okay, for example, yung pagtatali ng walis. Okay, or you see them harvesting rice, for example. So ask if you can help. Okay, yung mga namimitas ng I tried okra. Okay, sa bandang Pugo, nagpipitas ng okra. Manang pwede po ba kami tumulong? And in the end, binigyan kami ng maraming okra take home namin. Okay, so join them. Okay, makikita nila na mababait yung mga yan. What do you call this? They help us when we were doing when we were in the farm, for example. Okay. When you talk about household activities, okay, kung like you can see in the screen share here, the household activities. Okay, kung nakikita nyo sila nagsisibak ng kahoy, okay, kasi maboboring kayo sa community if you're going to isolate yourself. So might as well make the best of the experience while you are there. Okay, so yan, kung nagluluto sila, okay, makiluto kayo kunwari. Pag nagsisibak sila ng kahoy, makisibak kayo ng kahoy. Sabi ko nga, here, they were having kanyaw. Join the kanyaw, okay, and they will be very happy to have you as guests and visitors in the kanyaw. Okay, so live with the community. Okay, seek out and converse with people. Okay, so puntahan nyo sila sa mga how do you call this, sa mga store, mga sari-sari store, lalo kapag tapos na yung mga trabaho alas 4, alas 5. Okay, pagtapos na yung mga farmers, usually ang farmers natatapos sila bago tumirik yung araw so 12 o'clock. Okay? Pero yung mga yung mga chismosa, for example, tsaka sila nagtatambay-tambay sa mga tindahan kapag mga 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Okay, so talk to them, makipagkwentuhan kayo sa kanila. Sa simbahan, sa town, dyan, sa mga sentro nila. Okay, so dyan kayo makipagkwentuhan. Else, seek out converse. Avoid drinking alcoholic beverages with the community members. Okay, so kailangang iwasan. Hindi lagi maiiwasan, especially if syempre lagi yan Okay, for example, farmers in Pugo. Farmers in Pugo, they finish having their natatapos sila sa farm nila bago tumirik yung araw So before 11. They start very early. Okay, so mga 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, nasa farm na yung mga yan. Para pagdating ng mainit na yung araw, 10, 11, 12, tapos na sila. Okay, so usually after lunch, pagkatapos silang mag-garden, after mag-farming, they go to their house, have lunch. After that, ewan ko, sa pugo, ganun eh. Pag natapos na yung 12, okay, so imbis na mag-siesta, minsan nagkikita-kita na yung mga farmers sa bahay ng isang ano. Tapos doon, magiinuman na sila. Okay, so minsan, pag nakita nilang nagra-rounds kayo or nag-house-house kayo, especially pag ganung oras, okay, aayain kayo, Maestro Gonzales, in the group, okay, they will tell you, okay, shot pa, may isang shot, etc. etc. Okay, so minsan, syempre, kailangan mo makisama rin. So makikiisang tungga ka naman, makikiupo ka doon, makikipagkwentuhan ka. Okay, but there are times that you have to, as much as possible, iwasan mo rin. Okay, so tell them, sige, siguro next time, takwa. Bawal. Let them know, bawal. Baka malaman ti school, for example, or makita ti estudyante, for example, or pag pinainom yung estudyante, okay, so yun yung mga iniiwasan natin. And just be honest with them, okay, that you are there for official business. It is to serve the community in terms of healthcare services. Okay? Be honest, kaya't kukuma sir, mabalin lang, bawal namin. Okay, so they will understand. Okay? Definitely no smoking or gambling when you are having your community duties. Usually after 5 o'clock, okay, or after dinner, syempre nasa community kayo eh. Wala ka nang gagawin. Okay, so it's either the clinical instructor will have a meeting, you have to discuss about tomorrow. Kung wala man, there are a lot of idle time in the community. Okay, and sometimes you end up getting bored. Okay, so minsan sa probinsya, di ba, malakas yung mga gambling. Okay, so yan, mga iniiwasan natin. Smoking also. Okay, you are not allowed to smoke in the community. Avoid flirting with community members. Okay, so minsan may mga ganda, may mga gwapo in the community, wag na. Okay, you are not there to look for a boyfriend or a girlfriend. You are there to do or to give healthcare services. Share the people's housing, food, entertainment, and meetings. Okay, so be with the people in the community. Okay, so that is your guidelines in social integration. Okay, going back to the critical activities. Okay, number 4 in your critical activities, leader spotting. Initial core group formation, identify existing leaders and groups in the community. So leader spotting, looking for people in the community aside from of course the barangay captain and the barangay officials, mga leaders lahat yan. But aside from them, who else in the community ang sa tingin niyo leader? For example, so sino yung pinapakinggan? Nung nagtambay kayo sa store, sino yung pinakamalakas yung opinion? Kanino sila nakatingin lahat? For example, sino yung pinakamagaling magkwento? Okay? So initial group, core group formation, meron dito yung mga grupo na magsasaka. Okay? Nung naglalakad tayo ng isang araw, nakita natin na magkakasama yung mga farmers. So these are groups that we can tap in the future. Identify existing leaders and groups. Okay, so laying foundations through social interaction. So nakikita mo who are the people you can use, who are the people who can help you, okay, in terms of your programs and activities, and forming your core groups. Why do we do leader spotting? Okay, we have to identify who are the key persons and opinion leaders in the community. Okay, the key persons, of course, yung mga malalakas in terms of moving or malalakas yung decision making in the community, not only the barangay officials. Opinion leaders, they can be non-barangay officials, pero their opinion will influence the farmers. Their opinions, teacher kasi yan, o siya kasi yung principal sa public school namin, kaya nire-respeto namin yung opinion niya. Okay, so those are, they are not barangay leaders, okay, but in terms of opinion, they are respected in the community. Siya kasi yung siya kasi yung dating mayor. Okay? Dating mayor 'yan, si Manong ganto-ganto. Okay? Kaya kahit hindi siya official sa barangay namin, we respect him. He used to be a general or he used to be in the military, etc., etc. So their opinions are well recognized in the community. Have high level of interest in the need of the activity. So who are the people, okay, na despite being non-officials in the barangay, they have high interest in the activities. Yun yung mga madalas magpa-sports fest. Sino yung mga tawag ng mga medical mission. Okay, so meron ba mga taong ganun sa yung mga may contact. Okay? So who else are the people with high integrity and credibility? Okay, so who are the respected people in the barangay who are not really barangay officials? Okay. You also want to spot people who are open to learn and gain new skills. Okay, so for example, habang nakikipagkwentuhan ka sa sari-sari store, sabi, ay ading, pwede nyo ba kaming turuan paano kumuha ng BP? Okay, kasi meron rin akong ganyan sa bahay, yung stethoscope tsaka yung BP app, pero hindi ko alam gamitin. Okay, yung lola ko, laging tumataas yung blood pressure niya. Feeling ko hindi naman accurate yung electronic BP machine. So mas gusto ko sana matuto ng manual. Okay, so these are people. People who would like to learn first aid. Okay? We are trying to identify people who are committed. Okay? So yeah, I am not really a government official. I'm not really a barangay official. Pero gusto ko, syempre, dito ako pinanganak sa barangay na to, gusto ko, healthy kami lahat sa barangay. Okay? So these are people who are committed or committed to the youth. There are individuals in the community na gusto very close sila sa mga youth groups. Okay, so those are people who are committed. Who are people in the community who have the willingness to act and participate, okay, in the activities that you will be facilitating. Kahit sa planning, ako may idea ako, for example. Okay, so who are these people who have ideas? People who share the same vision as your duty group, same values, okay, with people in the healthcare team. So that is the fourth critical activity. Identifying leaders, identifying groups in the community who will be beneficial in the future once you implement health activities. Okay. Leader spotting also includes different groups. Okay, so once you will recognize the different groups according to age group, sino yung mga grupo na nag-aaral, okay, who are the groups who are yung mga bata, okay, sino yung mga nasa antag dito, sino yung mga nasa daycare center, okay? Sino yung mga college, okay? Who are the youth, who are the elderly. Okay? Another group composition is according to occupation in the barangay. Who are the farmers? So sila yung magkakasama, one group. Who are the OFWs, professionals, fishermen, sino yung mga chismosa, etc. etc. If that is an occupation. Sino yung mga tricycle driver? Diba? Usually magkakasama lahat yung mga yan. Okay. According to existing committees, okay, yung mga Zumba committee, okay, yung mga Jutanders committee, okay, meron yung mga SK Youth committee, okay, those are existing committee. Education group, health group, income generating group, kasama ko sila sa sa co-op. Okay, so isang group yan yung mga kasama sa co-op, for example. Kasama ko sila mga kasama ko mga yan sa palengke. Okay, mga tindera kaming lahat. Okay, so yan yung mga existing groups or core group composition in a community. Okay, when you talk about leader spotting, we talk about function of a core group. Okay, a core group, initial action group that can work with the health team. So kung meron na palang group of individuals doon who are trained in CPR, for example, lahat ng SK, pinapunta ng SK chairman sa Red Cross para mag-training before as their basic life support. Okay, so that is a group that you can already tap. Okay. A core group also performs initial actions and mobilization. So kung magkakaroon na tayo ng mga activities, usually sila yung mga unang gagalaw or sila yung mga unang tutulong sa atin. Okay, who else are the possible officers and leaders? Okay, what do you call this? Once you identify people, okay, who are outside, hindi naman sila barangay leaders, hindi sila barangay captain, hindi sila kagawad, pero they seem to be leaders, okay, in terms of how they act, in terms of how they think. So once nagkaroon tayo ng mga committees sa mga programs natin, pwede natin silang maging mga head dun sa mga committees na itatayo natin. So sila yung mga possible officers and leaders dun sa mga programs natin. They help, these leaders also help both the community and the healthcare workers. May mga people in the community who will not only help in our implementation of the program, both for the community and the healthcare workers. Tayo, tutulungan rin tayo nila. And leader spotting is important to help in laying out plans and tasks because meron sila mga opinion and they have experience in that community, so they can help us plan and task. Different types of key people in the community. So of course, you have key persons. The key persons are the ones very influential in your community. Yung mga barangay captain, of course. Yung mga kagawad. Okay? Key persons also, people who can lead. Okay? Sabi ko nga, yung mga ex-mayor, ex-general, yung principal, mga maestro, mga teachers in their communities. Of course, mga key person yung mga yan. Because once you get them on your side, okay, so a lot of people will participate already in your activities. Opinion leaders. Okay, sometimes you encounter people in the community who have very good opinions. Okay, so maganda para sa project na yan, ganto-ganto gawin nyo. Okay? Kasi dati akong engineer, or dati akong teacher. So ito ang magandang gawin dyan. Or dati akong doktor. Doktor ako pero I stopped practicing already. For that problem, this is the good solution. Okay? But why are there opinion leaders already? Because they do not want to participate in the implementation. Okay? So for example, tapos na ako dyan. Okay? Dati na ako na yung dating barangay captain. Pag gagalaw ako, baka isipin ng barangay na tatakbo ako. So I don't want to participate in the implementation. Pero here are my opinion. Okay? Or yung mga matatanda. Okay? So pagod na ako. Okay? I've been in this barangay since I was born. Ito yung mga nakikita ko. But those are just my opinion. I don't want to participate in the implementation already. Yung mga bata, ang pag-implement nyo, mga tipong ganun sasabihin nila. Okay? But they have very good opinions. Okay? There will also be deviants and isolates. Okay? So mga ayaw mag-participate. Okay? So hindi na doon na lang kayo mag-survey doon sa next na kapitbahay namin. Wag na dito sa bahay namin. Okay? Or for example, magpapa-feeding program kayo. Hindi, sige, okay lang kami. Wala naman kaming problema sa food. Okay, yung mga kapitbahay nilang namin na may hirap, sila na lang ang i-target nyo dyan sa program na yan. Okay, so they don't want to include, okay, ayaw nila mag-participate sa mga programs nyo. And those are the deviants and isolates. Disadvantage, of course, hindi mo sila may-include sa mga activities nyo. Advantage, nabawasan yung mga cargo mo. Okay, so okay lang. So hindi na natin sila isama, mababawasan. Hindi na natin kailangan problemahin yung house number 4 kasi they are not welcome. They said that they will not participate in any activity that we will do. Okay, so yun ang advantage din. Kumbaga bawas load. Okay, so wala nang students sa dyan, doon na lang sa next na house. Okay, mga tipong ganun. Okay, number 5 in your critical activities, groundworking with identified key persons and opinion leaders. Okay, once you have identified in number 4, so who are the people who are influential, who are the leaders? Okay, we will do groundworking. Kumbaga, we want to orient them and we want to get their opinion. Okay, instead of talking to everyone, you just want to talk to the leaders. Okay, so for example, in your duty group, okay, instead of me talking to everyone, I will just talk to your leader. Okay, so this is what I want to happen. Ganito yung magiging community natin. Okay? And once I share my idea to him, he can be the one to start influencing all of you already. Okay? At the same time, ganoon rin sa community. Groundworking with just the leaders. You can have one-on-one conversations with them para malaman mo yung opinions nila and you can talk to them about, sir, kasi ito yung gusto naming implement. Ano po sa tingin nyo? Okay po ba? Okay? Mind setting also of leaders regarding issues that need to be done. So ito kasi yung napansin namin with our first week of duty in your barangay. Okay, so napansin namin about the basura, napansin namin about the stray dogs. Okay, ano po yung opinion nyo dun sa mga napansin namin? Okay, and guide and motivate leaders. Okay, we want them to, sir, we identified you because we like your ideas, we like your opinion. Okay? We would like to assure you na itatry namin ang best namin, okay, with your cooperation, okay, para ma-solve natin yung mga problem ng barangay nyo. Okay, with your help, with your participation. Okay, so you guide and motivate the leaders also. Okay, that is groundworking with the specific people that you have identified with leaders. Okay, so kumbaga you target the people first who will really excel. Okay, and then they will start to influence the other people na to participate in your activities. After groundworking with the leaders, the next is tentative planning and delivery of health services as come-on or intro activities. Okay, so I know that there will be a lot of long-term activities. Okay, but when number 6 is talking about the initial activities, okay, na magpaparamdam dun sa community na nandun kayo. Okay, so choose a major health or health-related issue that are priority concerns. Okay, analyze the issue with the people, coordinate with the barangay health workers. Okay, the first activities must be initially felt and concrete. Okay, so it is something that they can see already in your first week or first few weeks. For example, I know that we have plans about vaccination in the future, mga tipong ganun. I know we have plans about magpa-operation tule, magpa-feeding, etc., etc. But when we talk about come-on or intro activities, these are activities that maramdaman agad nila. Kumbaga, third day pa lang natin. So like what? Okay, cleaning activities. Okay, so napansin natin within the first 2 days of our duty na medyo madudumi yung mga barangay. So anong gagawin natin? We go around the barangay. Tapos meron tayong dalang mga walis, garbage bags, dustpan, tapos we start cleaning around the area. We start cleaning around the simbahan, sa palengke, ganun. Okay? So they will see in your first week pa lang, okay, na they really mean business and they are really here to help. Okay? Tapos while doing the activities, tutulungan pa kayo ng mga kagawad. Tutulungan kayo ng mga ibang people in the community. Okay? So these are activities that they can see and feel already within your first week or first few weeks, and they will see that you really are there to help the barangay, okay? And to help or to implement activities with the barangay people. Okay, so if we have more elaborate activities in the future, fundraising, mga tipong gano'n, next time na. Okay, pero during our first few days, magpakitang gilas na agad tayo, something that they will feel immediately. It doesn't have to be grand, but it must be something that they can concretely and readily feel as soon as possible. Okay, so come on or intro activities. Okay, so probably the next weeks that we come, okay, so hindi naman palagi na may activities na nakikita nila, hindi puro concrete activities, but the other critical activities are like your DSI, your deepening social investigation. So as you go through your second week, third week siguro of your stay in the community, you're already investigating ano ba yung mga health problems dito. Okay, you are already giving out survey forms, collecting information. Ilan ba yung hypertensive sa barangay na to? Ilan yung may diabetes? Okay, community study, studying the problems of the community. Participatory action research. Okay, researching, okay, with the help of the community in knowing what are the main problems in their community. Okay, and this deepening social investigation, community study, and participatory action research will help us come with community development plan. Okay, what are the plans? What can be our health plans for this community? And community diagnosis. What are the major problems of this community? Yun ang ginagawa natin with your number 7. Okay, remember we are talking about activities during the entry phase already. Number 8, after we have collected data, interpreted data, collected data, diagnose what is the problem. 8 is start of training activities or capability building for the core group. Remember the group of leaders and group of people that we have identified in earlier stage of the entry phase. So anong gagawin natin? We will train them We will train them for what? We will train them to collect and record data para hindi tayo lahat ang gumagawa. Remember, COPAR is community participation. So they should help also. Collect data. So i-collect natin ano ba yung mga blood type, kunwari sa barangay. Collect natin sino ba yung mga diabetic. I-collect natin sino ba yung mga buntis at mga bagong panganak. Okay, so they will help us. Okay. Also train the people how to present data that they have collected. Okay, so i-tabulation form nyo po, sir. Okay, or pwede nating i-chart lahat. Okay? So how do they present the data? Analyze the data para sila rin makita nila. Ganito pala karami yung hypertensive sa barangay natin. Ganito pala karami yung may diabetes. Okay? Ganito karami yung suicide na nangyari within the 2 years, etc. So analyze para makita nila that is it really a problem? Is it something that we can solve also? Number 9, in critical activities, conduct community meetings and assemblies. So in number 8, we were able to collect data already with the help of the community. Now we are going to set community meetings and assemblies. We are going to gather responsible community members and members per household. Okay, so i-gather natin kahit hindi lahat pumunta, basta yung mga importanteng people in the barangay makapunta sila. Kasi medyo community diagnosis na yung pag-uusapan natin. Ano ba yung mga nakita nating problema dito sa barangay. Okay, so get all the important people in the community. It is also called your community consultation because you want to consult them regarding their opinion. Get collective ideas and feelings to know if healthcare workers and activities are accepted. So as you can see, this during the implementation phase siguro sa mga nasa 3rd week na siguro to. Okay, so gusto mo lang alamin mga manong, mga manang, we've been here in your community for 3 weeks already. So how is it? Nagiging sagabal po ba kami dito? Nagiging abala ba kami? Are you benefiting from our stay here? So you want to learn from them. Okay, so they will say, oo, na-appreciate namin yung stay nyo dito, lalo yung mga vital signs taking nyo. Okay, so yun yung mga na-appreciate namin. During community meetings and assemblies, you are also to present the data and the study, okay, preliminary study. Okay, yung mga na-gather nyo na information. So ipapakita nyo. So ganito karami ang hypertensive sa barangay nyo based on the data that we collected. Ganito karami yung mga nakagat ng aso, etc. etc. Okay? So you will just highlight that these are the problems based on what we have collected. Thus, formulate and establish vision of health, okay, for their own families and community. Okay, so ano po ang gusto nyo mangyari dito sa community nyo? Okay, so help them formulate what they want their community to be in terms of health status. Okay. Also, conduct community meetings and assemblies for the community to identify goals, obstacles, and actions that we can implement, okay, regarding health programs in the community. I think this is the last of your critical activities, number 10. Okay, ito medyo mahaba to. Okay. Number 10 will be talked about conducting the first major ARAS. ARAS, hindi ARAC. Letter S yung last niya. ARAS stands for Action, Reflection, Action, Session. Okay, so in my photos, how can an ARAS look like? ARAS. Okay, this is an ARAS session. Action, reaction, action, setting. Okay, because they are meeting. They have talked about the actions for today and talking about the actions for tomorrow. So an ARAS is basically talking about what are the actions and setting actions for the next activities. Okay, so yan ang ARAS. So let's talk more about ARAS. The ARAS is a regular cycle of evaluation that follows after activity. What will we do? An ARAS will help us identify strengths and success. Ito yung mga strengths natin as a group. Ito yung mga success natin sa mga programs na implement natin for today or last week. ARAS also helps us analyze mistakes and failures and what caused the mistakes and how do we prevent them. Okay, parang meeting siya. Okay, you reflect as a group. Okay? Also, it helps the group relieve pains in terms of meron ba akong na-insult during the activity kanina, meron ba akong mali na nasabi sa mga group mates ko. Okay? Tapos aayusin nyo. Reconcile if there are misunderstandings. Okay? So you have to fix the team. Okay? If you have to, kung may nasaktan kayong or na-insulto kayong kagawad, you have to settle everything. Okay? ARAS also helps us reaffirm commitment to the vision, mission, and goals. Okay, so once, sige, I accept your apology. Okay, let's go back to work. Okay, let's focus again at the vision, the mission, and the goals of our team. ARAS also helps develop cohesion kasi pinag-uusapan niya yung mga goals. So you get hype. Sige, kakayanin natin yan. Ito yung mga plans natin, kakayanin natin yan. Okay? Thus you develop cohesion. Okay? Conduct the first major ARAS session. Okay, methods of initiating ARAS. How do you start the ARAS? Okay, so sometimes you can do it, you can start it with a small group round table discussion. Okay, so magkabilog kayo na mesa or nakaupo kayo sa floor and it will be a discussion. Okay, to break the ice, ewan ko, ito yung sinulat ng author, group singing, pwede kayo magkantahan, gitara. Okay, pwede kayo magkwentuhan, story analysis, okay, Q&A. Okay, just try to start with conversations. Okay, so parang arak talaga, no? Talagang para magiinuman kayo. So magkantahan kayo sa harap na mesa, magkwentuhan, asking questions just to try to get the momentum going before the discussion happens. Okay, the first part of your ARAS is your preparation phase. Okay, you condition the minds. Let them know kung kakaroon tayo ng ARAS mamaya. Okay, so pag-isipan nyo na kung ano yung mga gusto nyong sabihin, pag-isipan nyo na yung mga opinions, suggestions nyo. So you condition each of the member already before pa tayo magkaroon ng ARAS. Setting the venue. Okay, so kung doon tayo mag-aaras sa bonfire, for example. Okay, so ayusin nyo na yung bonfire. Kung sa kusina, okay, ayusin nyo na yung kusina. Kung sa barangay hall, let's prepare the barangay hall. Okay, and then give time for the members to reflect about the activities that were finished. Okay, kanya-kanya. Okay, wala mo na magkwekwentuhan na, wala mo na magdidisturbuhan. Kuha kayo ng sarili nyong pen and paper, then reflect what were the things that you contributed to the activities of today or the activities of last week. Evaluate yourself. Okay, usually when I let my children or my students evaluate yourself, there are just two questions. Did I do the things that I was supposed to do? Okay, so kung merong schedule, nagawa ko ba lahat ng kailangan kong gawin? And then the other question is, did I do my best? Okay, those are two self-evaluation questions that I always tell my children and my students. Okay, so did I do everything that I'm supposed to do? Okay, if yes, again, another question, did I do my best in those activities? So that is just preparing yourself, okay, before the ARAS happens. During the actual ARAS, so may informal formation. So it can be, iba, hindi naman formal na formal, parang meeting ng Senado. Okay, it has to be informal din. Okay, remember, it's at the end of the day, pagod lahat. Kung gusto ng pambahay, okay lang. It doesn't have to be everybody must wear something formal, necktie. It has to be informal. Okay? Sometimes there is an icebreaker. Merong kakanta, merong magjo-joke or magkakansyawan, etc. etc. But just to make everybody feel at ease. Okay? So pag natapos na yung biruan and everything, okay, the formal starting of the ARAS, present the objectives. Okay, so mag-aaras tayo today para pag-usapan natin yung activities na nangyari kanina or last week. And then another objective is to be able to talk about what are our plans for tomorrow and our other activities and plans. Okay? The facilitator, the clinical instructor, or the group leader can prepare self-reflection questions. Okay, so lahat pwede mag-usap. Okay, so pwede nating sabihin, okay, so everybody take turns. What do you think were your contributions to the activities for today? Okay, mga self-reflection questions. What do you think went wrong? What were your favorite part of what happened in our activity today? Etc. etc. Okay, we can ask for opinions. Okay, so based on your discussion earlier or our discussion, na po yung mga opinion nyo regarding the community or mga programs na pwede nating gawin. Suggestions, sharing and synthesis of learning insights. So sasabihin ng isa, oh tama yung sinabi ni ganto-ganto. Yung isang groupmate natin, tama yung suggestion niya. We should push through with this suggestion for siguro improve. I-combine natin yung sinabi ni classmate A at ni classmate C. Okay, so sharing and synthesis of the learning insights during the ARAS. So that is your ARAS. Okay, from informal reflection to opinions to sharing suggestions. Okay. Post-ARAS, after the ARAS, there is application of insights. Kung ano yung mga insights na sinabi, i-apply natin, lalo na yung mga gusto nating i-improve. Institutional recommendation. Okay, so pwede nating sabihin bukas sa barangay captain. Kap, kagabi po kasi nag-usap-usap kami. Tapos ito po yung isang suggestion na maganda na bago na wala nung sa unang plan natin that probably we can implement during the next program, etc., etc. Okay, so institutional recommendations. That's it. Okay, so that's it for your critical activities of COPAR, starting from, okay, so I'll stop it. Okay, so for today, we discussed the entry fees of COPAR. We described what is the entry fees. And then we went through the parts of the entry fees, which includes the courtesy call, the ocular survey, community integration, leader spotting, okay, leader spotting and core group spotting, ground working or talking personally to the leaders, informal leaders, and also the opinion leaders, okay, putting them in the same page as ours, and also learning to go to their page, for example, ano yung opinion nila that we can use. Okay, initial activities, you now know what are come on or intro activities. These are activities that must be concrete and readily felt by the community. Okay, after that, deepening social investigation, so further information about the community study, participatory action research. Then 8, critical activity is start of training of the leaders and the core groups. Okay, we now conduct community meetings and assemblies. And last that we talked about today is the ARAS. Okay, and the purpose of ARAS and how we go through ARAS through initiating it, preparing for it, okay, the actual ARAS itself, and the post-ARAS activities, and of course the implementation of the recommendations. Okay, so that is your lecture for the pre-entry phase for the first part. There are still more. There is part 2 of your entry phase, and we will discuss that in the next lecture. Okay, so thank you.